Hi everyone, I'm McDices, and this is me saying this message for the first time. What I mean by that is this is my second take of the All Bosses Speedruns Explained. I like to do these, it's a fun series, and apparently I never did it for Dead Rising 1 All Bosses, despite me running this category plenty. Anyway, this category is going to take us from a new game file, fighting every single boss. First things first, we use a mod for this category. If you want the mod, it's on speedrun.com, and that allows you to kind of just go sequential back-to-back each mission fight. It's very good for that. Now, you may be looking, why are we looking at graphic settings? Because you need to get a high FPS for this category. Make sure you're on variable and make sure VSync and anti-aliasing are off for most computers. This is going to allow you to get maximum FPS, and we're going to be able to do a neat trick later. This is FPS dependent. I'll be changing this later in the run, but for the early half, you want to have that ready. It's pre-run setup. Last but not least, you see I'm on a new game file. This is going to be a level 1 file, so I'll be good to go there. Now, time actually begins on the first cutscene skip, and it'll automatic. Luckily, we have a load remover and an automatic splitter, so it's quite nice. Anyway, let's go without further ado and then talk a little bit about the category and why it's so difficult. For one, with all Dead Rising categories, you want to be starting by jumping for your base movement. And when we get to the skateboarding later, we'll start using that, but jumping will be faster as a general idea. So if you see me wondering, hey, why are you jumping the whole time? That's why I'm jumping. It's slightly faster than basic movement. Now, there will be a catch later in the run because we do level up a lot, where if you level up speed, it's going to be faster to run, but we're not going to get that until later in the run, so it's unlikely we'll be using that, but we do use it a little bit. Now, another thing to consider for this category is we'll be fighting every single optional and mandatory boss fight. The only one we're not doing is a helicopter, because that's technically a military unit and not a boss fight according to the game's files, so it's enough of a technicality where we're allowed to do it. All the psychopaths in this game are counted based on the achievements, which is the psychopath achievement, and the main storyline. Also, fighting the helicopter sucks and most people don't like doing it anyway, so it's a-okay. Now, first things first is you're going to meander your way through the zombies, and you want to make sure you grab the shotgun off Ryan Reynolds. The shotgun is always here, and it always has been here. It's important to grab that because, you know, level 1, we're not going to be hitting very hard. So you want to make sure that you're going to be hitting quite hard going into the game. Now, if you are getting stuck in large groups of zombies, it is okay to fire the gun. In this category, we don't worry too much. You can just sort of fire willy-nilly as long as you are able to kill Carlito. Now, you notice I talked to the vent there. You must talk to the vent so we can get these coffee creamers in this room. Talking to Otis will cancel the dialogue and won't allow you to keep moving during all that. So by talking to the vent, you can get 2 coffee creamers and we'll be on our way for a special tool. We're going to be able to use a lot of mixed drinks in this run, so it's pretty good timing. As well, I do want to mention that as it all goes, there might be some route changes in this category because there's been new things found since the last time I ran this and got the world record, so it's very likely that this might get world record provided it doesn't die. So it's neat. Anyway, I'll be entering the first of our many missions. Normally I do a prediction here, but I kind of forgot to do it, so we're not going to do one. But we're going to be starting off with Kent. A lot of people know the Kent photography missions. We have to do the missions. The reason why is because when you shoot Kent, he tells you he's a pacifist and not a psychopath. And also, the game wants you to do the Kent missions. You're not supposed to know Kent's a boss yet. So, you have to do the Kent missions. Now, the reason I shoot Kent is that will cut out all his dialogue and just have him tell you he's a pacifist. Him having that dialogue will immediately jump to the end of his dialogue tree. Normally, he'll have a long time telling you, oh, I'm a photographer too. This way, you're able to just immediately get to the end of a sentence, which is good. Now, orange juice and coffee creamer will make an item called Quick Step. We need 2 of these. While you're making them, you're going to get pictures of Kent. Now, the way this works is Kent wants to get a distance from you, and you need to get a base picture. There's 2 you need to get. One, a 500 shot. The second, a 700 shot with him doing his pose. Normally, if you stand in the same spot, he'll do his pose. However, sometimes you get bad RNG. It looks like I got bad RNG. If he says that, you've gotten bad RNG. And the way you're going to do this is, 1, you're going to get a skateboard. Because you're waiting for him anyway. 2, you're able to go into a shop, and that will kind of stop Kent entirely until he starts moving again. You kind of want to get Kent away from the zombies. The one I like to use is actually way back here. And then Kent will try to follow you. And with him following you, you may notice, hey, he's not going to attack the zombies. This is considered bad RNG. There's his pose. I actually whiffed the pose. My god, I hate Kent. Kent? Kent? Please. There we go. Kent was especially bratty today, but that's okay. These things happen. Even funny enough, with me losing a minute, we'll probably still be fine. Anyway, now that you got your skateboard and you got your Kent, you'll be taking your one skateboard, your 2 quick steps, and your shotgun and getting on out of here. Normally, the Kent mission can end a minute earlier, as you may notice, but sometimes that happens. Also, my god, my early game of this is atrocious. I didn't know this was even complete. If this doesn't work out, I'm just going to do another time skip run. He's dodging the camera? He is. Also, when you can kill most enemies with one shotgun shot, it's important to know that you can kill Kent early. Also, he'll try to kill you if you do it, so don't do it. Now, the reason why this category is so tough is the boarding is going to be much harder than usual. Traditionally, in a Dead Rising run, at this point you would have at least 1 magazine and 2 boards. Right now, I only have 1 board, meaning my board will die in 3 hits, exactly. So, in order to keep my board alive, you'll see me doing a lot of jumping and a lot of shooting. Just a general amalgamation of tricks to keep my skateboard nice and healthy. The Carlito fight's usually pretty straightforward. There's 1 of 2 paths he'll take. Either 1, he'll keep running like that, which you're able to get shots, or 2, he'll stop early, and you'll be able to keep wailing on him with shots. It does take some practice to do it, but normally the idea is you're going to be using your shotgun to defeat Carlito. The shotgun does a lot of damage from a distance, and is one of the best weapons in the game entirely, and it gets used a lot during the new game runs, so it's important to note that. Right now is definitely one of the harder parts of the run, and depending on what level ups you got, you might have different results. What I mean by this is, from levels 2 through 5, you can get 4 upgrades, and this works every 4 increments. Also, oh no, Jeff Meyer is dead. Also, hold on, I don't need the shotgun anymore, we're grabbing the Uzi. So, I have probably Jump Kick or Zombie Ride. This is a bit more rough because now I don't have the extra stock. Luckily, this category doesn't, I mean, it just sucks out of the way for your boarding, but sometimes it's nice to have that extra stock. Anyway, it's very important to grab that submachine gun because we will be using that for an upcoming boss fight. It saves a lot of time over one of the old strats. However, if you do break your board leading into that, you can technically use the old strat because it's a lot safer. The Zombie Ride, good to know. The ability to get's not too important right now, but ideally we do want to have the Zombie Ride, Jump Kick, and stock before level 5. Anyway, this is a newer trick to the speedrun called Bike Zip. This is going to be the trick that you need a very high FPS for. I said that earlier, and right now I'm going to be riding the bike all the way to a gate. Yeah, I run the show, Maddie Riley, Speedruns in the Crypt. It's a pretty fun show, so... yeah. And nice. So the way the trick's going to work is we are going to be biking up to this little wall in the plaza here. There's going to be an entrance, and we're going to be adjacent to this pillar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold right, hold the gas, hold the brake, and then hold left on my keyboard, and then Frank will fly, and in midair I will dismount. That is how to do that. I'm not sure why it works. It's something to do with the game's physics, but by doing that, you're able to consistently go over that wall, saving you an entire walk or skateboard back through the very small areas. And plus, it's much better for your skateboard damage, because you don't have to worry about hitting zombies if you're flying over all of them. Once you get the hang of it, it does take time, but there's an advanced tutorial on the Dead Rising Speedrun.com page. It's done by Pokesol. But that is how the trick tends to work. And the reason you want to stay braked is because that will keep the dismount option open as you're going. Plus, you'll probably see me saving and shaving off a lot of time throughout this run, because a lot of my old run is using older strats. So I'll probably be saving oodles of time, quite actually. So luckily as well, if you're running this category, you do get a forced save here. So in case you have trouble with the boss fight, just reload it. It's okay. There's no rules against that. You're allowed to die, technically. Now, something important to note. You noticed I turned my FPS back differently. I kept it on variable, but I turned on VSync, and I turned on anti-aliasing. You either want to do that, or you want to run on 60 FPS. The reason why is you do need an FPS cap internally in the game. Zombie AI is based on FPS, so you'll get more zombies and more aggressive zombies on the higher FPS, and the elevators will become elevators, so understand that might be dangerous. Right now, the run might die if I'm not careful. Carlito is a tough fight. What I like to do is light the skateboard on the right, and then get some shots on him. The RNG will depend based on how Carlito is acting. I wish I could have shown more of what I like to do with getting shot. However, the run would have died otherwise, and this has been a very good fight nonetheless. But the general idea is you skateboard on the right, try to dodge it. If you get hit, that's fine. But you want to be close enough where you can just start shooting with that SMG. If you get that, you'll be permanently stunned, and you're able to make your way through that. The lucky part is every time you get a close call with the boss, you're going to be able to save a lot of time. Because you can just sort of, what's the word? You can just sort of ignore... Also, in the wrong way. You can just sort of ignore them. With the health upgrades. Now, on this category, I like to actually go around the left side. I'm muscle memory saying me to the right. I like going left here. The reason why is because if by going right, technically there is a rare chance you can hit more zombies. It is faster to go through the elevator than it is to go through the left side. However, the upside to this is you're not going to be hitting zombies, which is good. Swede, tier 1 for 47 months. A channel founder. Thank you very much, Swede. Hope you're having a great day. I don't know if you know, I don't know if you saw it, but I got world record in time skip. So I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, time for the Convicts. This is one of my favorite fights in the game. What you're going to do is, you need that FPS setting I showed you that I turned back on. In doing so, the Convicts will always get stuck on this tree. You're then going to headshot the gunner until he dies. If you have over 40 bullets, this should be no issue. You'll always be left with a few. If they're going back and forth, it's okay to wait. And then once they bang back into the tree, you're going to then steal the gun and shoot both of them in the head. That angle should do it, and now they're dead. I end up getting a stock upgrade off this. That's very good. You no longer need the SMG, and you're going to be able to steal the car. Now, stealing the car is going to be very important, because I need this car for a few reasons. How's it, 12A9, dude? Hope you're doing great today. They with you 1 for 9 months, and you're doing Twitch baby and the emotes, and thank you. Hope you're doing good. 1, this car is, you know, a car, so it's going to be quite fast. 2, a very important part of the game is going to be the maintenance tunnels. The maintenance tunnels are going to have, you know, a lot of endgame paths and missions that I need to be down here for. So I get this now because I have the car to do so. In addition to that, in order to get access to the maintenance tunnels, you're going to need the key, which is right back here. Now, the reason why we get the key now is because you notice I had to use the gun to kill the gunner. And normally you want that gun for a lot of things because the heavy machine gun is immensely powerful. So, by reloading the area, you notice the heavy machine gun is back. This happens every single time you take a car through a loading screen. It kind of defaults back to its normal position. It won't be immensely damaged traditionally. So since the car gun is back, I'm now able to go back to the next fight, and I'll be able to use this gun. Now, I don't want to get out of the car immediately or take the other car because, well, the gun's already attached to this car, and I don't have to unattach it yet. So we're going to take this car all the way to North Plaza, because this is where the next boss fight's going to be. And you're going to see how fast we can truly do this, and it's a fun fight. Also, you want to make sure you kind of get this stuck up here. A common issue that can happen is you might get the car rolling down the hill. Just make absolutely sure that you're, like, ramming the wall. It's okay to take a bit of time on that. It's much safer and much faster. And he is Top Banana. Okay, so the cliff boss fight takes a bit of doing, but it's really easy. What you're going to do is you're going to aim backward and jump forward. So watch. Aim back, jump forward. And 2 shots each time. If you get hit, that's fine. Just make some distance between you and him. He'll still try to hit you. And you're going to keep the same idea. Now, if you're wondering why it's 2 each time, if you do any more, Cliff will decide to constantly try to hit you. And that's not going to be very good. Or he'll try to run away. If he runs away, you'll have to run all the way around the area, and that's, you know, going to lose you a lot of time. So that way, even with the backup strat, you're still going to be just fine. Now, time for the fun part. You need to get headshots on all 3 survivors that Cliff has. And also, after that, you're going to start drinking your first quick step, and you're going to take the gun and start running really fast. This is why you made the quick steps. We had time while waiting for Kent, so we lose no time by making them. Now, the reason why we must kill survivors. Dead Rising has a natural survivor count. You can only have 8 survivors in the mall at a time. I had 3 right there, and they would not be gone unless they died or I saved them. Saving them takes too long, so killing them will be the faster option, and I unlock later bosses. Now, the way this works is you exit the room with your quick step and just fire from right here. This will prevent Cletus from shooting you and knocking you back. Cletus is a rough fight, because he'll consistently knock you back. He's one of the meanest about this, and that's not very good. Now, take a shotgun or a hunting rifle. Really, pick your favorite gun. Drink your next quick step, and we're back on the move, and we're going over to the market. Or the grocery store, if we call it that. Now, general tip with quick step and running through zombies, you kind of want to wiggle. Wiggling allows you to kind of move through crowds with a bit more ease, and it'll prevent the crowd blocking. Crowd blocking is something that can happen in any Dead Rising game, actually. So with Dead Rising 1 and 2 especially, being able to get that wiggle tech down is super important. Now, obviously, you don't want to get grabbed, because that'll start wasting time during your quick step. Every second matters. How's it going, Fred? So, I hope you're doing good. Normally, if you're doing it good, around the meats, you should run out of quick step. Now, this fight's going to be really easy since we have this gun. You're going to aim immediately for his head. Or his hand. One of the two. Hitting both of those keeps the stun, and it's an immediate boss fight, which is why you save so much time. Now, if you're newer to the run, what you want to do is you want to get a bottle of wine from right here. This is going to come into handy, because you're going to fight the first actual tough boss fight. Every other boss fight's been headshots, body shots. I think Carlito 2 was a bit of a tough fight, but tougher than Carlito 2 was actually Adam the Clown. So, make sure that you just are prepared. If you need the health, grab it, but just understand Adam's not going to be an easy fight. Alright, last but not least, your boarding at this point is about to be rewarded. If you boarded well, big congratulations. You can beat your board a few times, but we'll be getting our first magazine, and we actually do have tactical board refreshes in this category. So we're ready? Oh, it's a fast fight. A very fast fight. Should we snow? Ooh, I hope you'll be okay. Alright, you'll be okay. Morning, you Caustic. Welcome back. Hope you're doing good. Also, I like to grab this magazine in particular. This magazine is going to buff my board, and it's going to allow me to jump, as you can see there. Now, hopefully I'll get stock next. If I don't, that's okay. But we'll see. So, we grabbed the machete from Cliff earlier, and we're going to use this against Adam the Clown. He's a very easy fight if you know what you're doing. Let him approach you, he'll always go for a swing. If he goes for a swing, you can then hit him twice. You can also do 3 times, and every time he goes for an attack, you may try to hit him. And this is kind of the general idea that I like to do. You can always kind of bait him out of it. Now, the reason I don't attack too fast is because, 1, you can get counter hit like that. A counter hit will actually be able to one-shot you, and that is FPS dependent. Now you're wondering, hey, why don't you go for more swings? Great question. You can, actually. Especially if you're grinding for absolute record. The reason why I'm not actively doing it is, 1, I go for it at the very end of the fight, and 2, Adam is one of the only bosses in the game that can block every single hit of your attack. Also, I don't need the machete. I don't know why I'm keeping it. So, with Adam, if you keep wildly swinging, what he'll do instead is he'll decide, hey, you're not allowed to attack, and he'll break your machete in 1 block. Which is why I don't attack immediately. Now, there's a glitch I want to elaborate on called Greg Skip. It's used on certain files of all bosses. Right now, you'll need the latest version to do this, but you can push Greg into the conveyor belt over there, and they'll knock him down there immediately. If you don't have that, or you want to just do it the old-fashioned way, I think it's too hard, just murder all the zombies and escort Greg. Greg Skip is slightly faster. Also, make sure you keep in mind which mini chainsaw you are using as your beater. You should always have 2 weapons, a beater and a regular. The idea of the beater is that this is going to be the one with the durability issues, while the other one's going to be much more full health. So when I finally buff it up and finally use it for other bosses, it's just going to be swimming. Also, Greg, hurry up. You may notice there's an issue if Greg gets too far away. Also, I got just dive roll, and that's actually kind of bad. Greg's annoying, but don't worry, Greg will get his just desserts. And yeah, Adam's an early boss, but he's also the toughest in the game. Like, there's some tough bosses in general, but I think Adam by far is still the boss that just probably will kill most of the runs. Like, every other boss, we have strategies to deal with them, but Adam's really the only one you have to kind of fight. Anyway, once Greg makes it here, he's going to open up the secret entrance, which will take me between Wonderland and Paradise Plaza. Once you have Greg, we're going to kill him. He's now dead. Greg no longer matters. We took what we wanted from Greg, and now he's gone. At this point, we also are now able to go back to the safe house. Now, I assure you, what's about to come is absolutely necessary to the speedrun. How's it going, dating? Hope you're doing good. We're going to be heading back to the safe house, because keep in mind, we're still doing Medicine Run. I managed to squeeze in all that stuff during Medicine Run. You also might be wondering... Oh, man, that's fun. Don't you care about your board right now? Actually, not as much as you think. So, while the board obviously would have been good to keep, and I shouldn't be breaking it here, for no reset purposes, I'm keeping the run alive. Now, this isn't so bad, because we get a board refresh on Photo Challenge, which is the next split. Now, the thing that's absolutely important is once you open this door, you get your camera out, and you are getting an upskirt and a boob shot. I'm not kidding. You want to get about, 800 on the crotch shot. After that, you can talk to Jessie, and I assure you it's absolutely necessary that we stare at her rack. If you don't do it, you failed the run. I'm sorry. Now, why do we need to get that picture? Photo challenge requires you to get a sexy photo. Also, sorry, Eternal. Greg is dead. You're looking respectfully. But the photo challenge requires us to get that picture. By getting the picture, I'm going to be able to get the Kent Part 2 done, and we'll be A-okay there. So normally I'd have a skateboard around this point, so keep in mind as you're moving, you want a skateboard for a lot of these parts. However, it is nice to see what happens to a run when you don't get the skateboard. Good question, Tui Fui. Good question. Oh, shit. Hard to say. But the reason I don't mind too much is because during this part, Kent's going to keep running over to me. We're going to make our way over to Kent, but at the same time, we're also going to be grabbing a magazine. Now, there's a few magazines you can grab to buff your boards, and we're actually going to ignore one for the most part. One, because I think it's stock, and two, I don't really need it. What I do need, however, is I need to go and position myself right over here. What I want to do is I want to get this book right here. And that'll allow Kent to... Oh, God. Follow me here. Also, if you want to attack me. But this book is going to power up my mini chainsaw and my skateboard, so it's a twofer. Also, I don't care about this mini chainsaw. Starting the dialogue with Kent early is fine, because you can grab the book during that, but we did it anyway. So at this point, you want to show Kent your sexy photo. You worked hard on getting it. Hey, get it? Worked hard. I get it. Once you do that, Kent is now your friend, because he's able to jerk off to that photo, and you're able to finally refresh your board, and now, hey, look at that. You have a 2-health skateboard, which is going to be very good and much safer coming up. So now it's time for one of the odder bosses in the game. I say odd just because this is going to be a very... How do I put this? How's it going, Hope? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, welcome on in. If you have any questions, let me know. Right now I'm doing an explained run of this. Otter boss? No, an actual one. Not a human boss. But the thing about this boss is... Traditionally, they want you to take care of the survivors and, protect them. But we're going to be able to use that to our advantage, because we don't care about that. So Joe is a mean boss, but I can actually use K as a human shield. So what I want to do is I want to keep slashing Joe while using K as a body block. Because while K has to die. And I'm going to be able to avoid... Oh wow, that was actually pretty big. I'm going to be able to avoid a lot of hits by just using K's body. Now K is dead, and Joe is dead. I need all the survivors dead. So that's an important thing there. Also, the shotgun is actually going to be used for killing every single one of these girls. Headshot will get an immediate death. If you're not comfortable with the shotgun, you may also use the hunting rifle. It also has more ammo, so hunting rifle is recommended, but I grabbed the shotgun for a particular reason, and you'll see why. It's a nice backup strat. Also, the reason I like the board skating is because it's going to allow me to jump rails. Now, once again, if for some reason you're coming into here on the Twitch stream wondering, why are you killing all those girls? Or if you're wondering on, hopefully the YouTube video for this, why are you killing all those girls? The reason why we're killing them all is because Dead Rising has a survivor count. So, if I cap out and have a gold 8, I'm not going to be able to spawn other bosses in the game, meaning I won't be able to beat all the bosses, which is kind of counterintuitive to the category. If you're feeling risky on your board, you can go to that shop right there and grab another magazine, but ideally you won't need it, because they suck exactly. What a moral run. We just say they're bosses. How's it going today? Hope you're doing good. And how's it going? Is that Adrigard? I see ya. Hope you're doing good. Welcome on in. And of course, Antronock. It is pretty sussy, isn't it? Alrighty. So, now is time for more of an annoying boss type. There's going to be 2 that fit into this, and these are going to be called the runners. The runners are going to be the snipers and Paul. There's going to be 3 snipers for this. We're not fighting Isabella quite yet. We're going to a mission called Mark of the Sniper. It's a hidden mission in the game, and this boss fight's more annoying than anything. It's not really a hard boss fight, it's an annoying one. Also, they don't do a lot of damage. I'm not sure why, but they don't really do all that much. A lot of people think they're deadly. They're really not. But Mark of the Sniper is going to have 3 snipers. And whenever you get close to them, they're going to run. We're going to be doing a trick for this, and the trick is going to be stun locking. I suppose. So, we're going to start by going up the stairs immediately behind us. This is going to get us really close to the snipers. Just skateboard up to them. They hit, like, with pea shooters. They don't do a lot of damage to you. And by the time you get there, hopefully 2 will be aligned. Their order doesn't matter how you kill them. Pick whatever one gets stuck first. Alright, so we're going for Thomas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the chainsaw, and I'm going to wait for him to do the full arch. Thomas ran away. I want Jack and Roger, because getting a 2 special is going to be more important right now. Also, grabbing the shotgun is important, because that will stop them. So the movement you want to do is that kind of pausing. If you keep slapping them as well, you can see you can stun lock them. Once your health is low enough, you can then, at that point, go for more hits. Anyway, Roger is now dead, and we'll continue with the others. I got horrible positioning here, because normally you want them to be much closer to each other so you can chain them, but this will suffice. Also, as you may notice, running's annoying, so by doing that action right there, you can see they stop running pretty damn quick. Which I guess in fairness, if I also took a chainsaw to my spine, I would also stop running. And then once their health is low enough, feel free just to start wailing on them. They are now dead. Another reason why the skateboarding book is good, jump over the rails. Annoying fight, but we got it. Can you save one of them? Nope, but everyone wants you to save one of them. Oh. So at that point, we have now done the mission going into, what's the name of that? Mark of the Sniper. So we're going to be heading back to Case 4-2. Something important to consider is we opened up the side tunnel. Also, how you doing, Mkola? The tunnel going from Wonderland to Paradise Plaza is going to be immensely helpful now, because this is a North Plaza area, and North Plaza is super close to Wonderland Plaza, so you can just simply go through here. Also, you do not have to worry about the cult most of the time. They will usually be fine. Alright, time for the next boss fight. Also, it's absolutely imperative that you picked up one of the hunting rifles. If you did not do that, well, good luck out there. What the hunting rifle is going to do is I will be able to swap back and forth with my inventory, and that's going to let me have no downtime on the rifle. Normally, if you fire, it will be very slow. But by doing this, you can just sort of spam shots. And it doesn't matter if they hit or not, you have a bunch of ammo. At some point. I've done it before. So, at some point we'll do it again. But right now, we're doing this. I was going to do it today, but then the marathon died, so I'll probably do it sometime next week, in fact. But right now, I'm focusing on this. Ah, of course. I mean, it's a fun skateboarding game. Now, important thing to note, before you go through this door, get a weapon out. Shotgun, mini, chainsaw, doesn't matter. Any weapon will suffice that can kill. Shoot immediately, attack immediately. That will get the zombie off Isabella. Hey, they're pretty scary galaxies. Also, welcome back. So, it's okay to get rid of the shotgun. That's also why you don't want to grab an extra skateboarding magazine, because you're going to get rid of it right now. You don't have the inventory to hold it. So it's nice to have, but do consider the following: you'll be dropping it. So that's why you want to keep skateboarding, and it's like toys, because that keeps your chainsaw alive. You're going to be carrying Isabella during this chapter, but at the same time, we'll be fighting the cult boss. Yeah! It's fun stuff. It is fun, fun, fun stuff. And I do just want to say welcome on in. Are Tony Hawk references in this game? No, there's a lot of skateboarding, and people don't realize how fast it is to get around with skateboarding. It's quite fun, though. It's quite fun to get around with skateboarding. This mission's rather chill, but the important thing to note is going to be proper inventory management. Wait, no, that's later. And the part of the thing is, no, it's proper survivor management. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be going to the movie theater, but I'm not going to start skateboarding immediately. I'm going to take Isabella, and I'm going to plant her right around here. Now, this seems counterintuitive, but Isabella will try to slowly limp to me. I don't want Isabella to be swarmed by zombies. When I come back here, if I put her right in the middle, Isabella will be, you know, dead set in the middle of zombies, and that's bad. Also, Survivor Manager is going to get really fun in a moment, D-Man. I like to jump into these cultists as well, because usually it keeps my board somewhat alive. Don't break the board. It's okay if you do, but try not to break it. This fight's rough. The strategies are: 1. Chainsaw. You can trade blows for a while. If your health is low, try to use your gun if you have ammo. If you don't have ammo, well, good luck out there. This is probably one of the meaner fights in the game, in addition. And I like Sean's one of the guys who's actually able to stun lock you. I might be dead. This might be bad. Yep. Oh, no, I'm not! He's dead. Well, I saved it barely. Keep that in mind how safe you play it. Also, welcome in, Raiders. Hope you're having a good day today. Welcome on in. I'm McDices. I love horror games and horror game accessories. Also, right now, for the commentary run, we're killing all 5 survivors. Yes, 5. Is that Cheryl? Yes, it is. Now she's dead. If your skateboard is low on health, don't worry. You can mini chainsaw your way out through here, and you'll be able to make your way through much easier. Keep your board alive just for a little bit. The more you keep it, the better it is. Also, how is the stream? If I have the mod, you can get a shout out. It'll be a good time so Midgard. I'm talking a mile a minute right now. Yeah, I can't believe that saved it. My god, at least for the commentator run. I was ready to go to bed. Anyway, with that, you can now see Isabella's in a good spot for me, and I can immediately pick her up. If I left her right by the door, she's in the middle of a zombie central, and she will be impossible to grab. You'll have to kill the zombies around her, and you might accidentally hit Isabella too much. So that is why I placed Isabella right there. It's manipulation. Funny enough, even with the 2 minutes of time loss, most of that's due to minor things. So this is still like what you want to do. Also, I do like being able to show what can go wrong. A lot of runs that do try to explain things don't show what can go wrong, and they don't show you how to adapt. And speedrunning adapting is super important. So, food for thought. Had a good time as always? That's good to hear. I'm doing alright. Can't complain here. Stuff is good. Also, Isabella will usually drop here, and I don't know why. My muscle memory always kind of messes with me for some reason, as I'm used to other categories being able to keep her. I don't know why it forces Isabella to drop here. It only works in this version of Time Skip. It's weird. But just make sure you keep Isabella with you. Also, luckily, the 5 survivors that we killed during a strange group, the cult, is the last survivors you have to kill. If you feel bad about killing the survivors, don't worry, you are now good to go. Also, good news! If you're worried about your boarding, you'll be getting a board refresh momentarily. Consider any time you interact with Kent, you're grabbing a board. It is always worth to get these boards anytime you deal with Kent. Namely, because the game will actually spawn you next to Kent. Now is time for the most deceptively easiest or hardest boss in the game. Kent is the absolute mixed bag. What do you mean by mixed bag? Kent can die in 4 hits, which is 2 combos, which essentially means immediately. However, Kent's one of the only bosses that has the ability to absolutely stun lock you repeatedly. Sean can kinda do it, but Kent will absolutely do it. Hey, I'm glad you liked it, Night Strider. I do want to say welcome on in. If you have any questions, let me know. We have a very friendly group of people here, and hopefully you're having a great day today. So, the thing with Kent is he will usually try to go for a roll. The roll is bad. The jump kick's also pretty rough because he can chain this shit. So, that's how he dies, very fast. But just be aware that all his attacks can infinitely lock you. Now, at this point, you can grab a bunch of skateboards if you want. There's a lot. You can leave Tad there. Don't worry about him. Disregard Tad. He's gone. We no longer have room for Tad. However, we're now hitting another version of the boss fight that I called the Runners. We have Paul and the Snipers. We did the Snipers, now it's time for Paul. Paul, however, has a very unique strat that only works for him, and we're going to use the ability of Frank West being fat. So, Frank's model is a bit chunky. What that means is it's kind of hard for things to pass you. We're going to use that to our advantage. Once we enter here, I'm going to be getting the mini chainsaw out, and I'm just going to keep slicing and walking into him. What I want to do is I want to keep Paul stuck. Sometimes it doesn't work. If it doesn't, you're going to have to chase him like that, which is quite unfortunate. This is also why having a gun is nice. Shotgun's preferred for chasing runners, but you can see why nobody likes runners in this game. Alright. Luckily, there's more areas you can get Paul stuck on. That's the idea. You just keep chainsawing him. Eventually, he'll die. Now, the best part is Paul's dick will be set on fire. If you want, you can take some time to kick it. You can even spit on it. Anyway, that loses you time, and Paul will die eventually. Let him die. Disregard Paul, acquire time save. We don't care about Paul here. He must die. And like, 'cause Paul's annoying. I like kicking him in the dick because it's funny. I like laughing. But realistically, you would leave immediately. Also, welcome back, me Jessica. Hope you slept well. Alright, now it is time for Bomb Collector. This is one of the hardest missions in the game as a mainline mission, not a boss fight. However, it's also a boss fight. Now, if you're doing regular time skip, this is not a boss fight. If you're doing all bosses, this is a hidden boss fight. Not a lot of people realize this, and in order to do the run, this is mandatory. You're going to have to fight Carlito. Exactly. So the car health won't matter. You're going to be going to this bomb right here, and this bomb will allow Carlito to spawn in. Now, I do have manipulation to set up Carlito. It doesn't always work, but the general idea is you want Carlito to get stuck on a wall. This will happen quite often, and the way I like to doing this is by ramming him. So I'm going to ram him, and then right when I get close, I'm going to hold my brakes. That's going to kind of shoot the car, and then I'm going to try to back up right here. What Carlito will now try to do is ram me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm using the car to my advantage heavily. Carlito. Carlito. That worked. Anytime you get to Carlito, you're going to want to... Looks like he's backing away. Oh, wait, hold on. No, he didn't get stuck. He doesn't get stuck. You're going to have to hunt him down to get him. The mini chainsaw will do a good portion of his health, so keep chasing him. And once he gets here, ram him from behind. This will kind of mess with his AI, and he should try to keep ramming this and he'll get stuck. Definitely make sure to walk away from the car when you're doing this, because if you stay too close, Carlito won't, he has slight invulnerability frames. So if you keep slashing, you're gonna die. Anyway, that's the car fight, and luckily for us, it does not matter on the damage of the car, we are going to get back into the car. There's a car back here and it kicks you out anyway, so that's okay. Alright, now we're going to finish up Bomb Collector. We've got the first bomb, we need the other ones, though. And Carlito is down. If you don't get the stuck thing, you're just going to one-shot him, get back in the car, and keep chasing him. That's the way it works. It is a tough fight, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. I would definitely say, I think learning the game, I think Carlito might be the toughest fight, for learning. Like, once you get the hang of it, it's definitely one of the easier ones, I think, but learning it, it's really difficult. And he's not dead. He's just... Every time you kill Carlito, he's stunned. You don't get to kill Carlito, sadly. Now, while driving, the important thing to look out for is try to take paths that have less zombies if you can. Don't hit walls, don't hit dividers, and avoid the shopping cart. Shopping carts have a very rare chance to immediately blow up your car, and, well, if you're trying to avoid breaking your car, that's bad. So definitely make sure to keep some board health available. And in addition to this, I should mention every time I'm moving in this game, I'm doing these micro adjustments. The more adjusting you do, the better it'll usually be for boarding this game and for driving. It's very similar mechanics on trying to preserve your health on the vehicle. Luckily, at this point, you don't have Carlito to deal with you, so this is actually really good practice for time skip. Also, I ran over a car, so this might actually break. The way you'll know it breaks, we heard a giant boom. If you're worried about your health, though, it is a-okay, because at the top of this hill, there's going to be a van right there, and you can actually take that van. It's free, it's open, you're allowed to have it. It's all yours. I might be taking it, because these zombies are not cooperating. Yeah, I guess I'm taking that. Wow. Okay. I don't normally have zombies that aggressive, but alright. Also, what I'm going to do is take this queen, because that queen will come in handy later. So, an odd thing I want to mention. You're going to need one queen before overtime. If you can get it early, that's fine. If you get it during overtime, also fine. You need one queen. Only one. This will come in handy later. Ooh. You play Cruelty Squad? I have no idea what Cruelty Squad is. I have no idea what that game is, so probably not. Alrighty. So here's the plan now. We're going to drive back. Every time you're driving back from these cases, you should be kind of going back to Paradise Plaza. So learning the layout of the land is very important. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't the convicts back? Aren't they a boss? They only count as a boss once. They're not a boss multiple times. Only the first spawn counts as a boss fight. It saves a bit of tedium, so you don't have to fight them 3 times. So, ideal. There we go. And we're just going to head back. Now, the next case is going to be Isabella's 8-2. And one of the topics of contention recently was, where do you want to make Spitfire? I'm all good. I'll probably live. I'm not looking for too many game recommendations at the moment. I already have a few games I have in mind. Here we go. So now that we're back to the safe house, we're going to begin case 8-2. This case is going to be the Isabella Escort. The escort missions normally are a pain. However, luckily for us, we're going to be able to do this quite nicely with some manipulation. Now, Isabella's route's almost always going to be the same. It's not going to be a huge deal. She'll take you through various areas in the mall. Now, once she's in front of the elevator, you can go through. It's going to be nice and easy. In addition to this, you're going to want to kill zombies in front of her for the first 2 areas. Like right here, mainly. Why is because Isabella is immensely aggressive. She has a very mean AI, and this AI can lead to some pretty bad results. So, by killing the zombies, you're going to be able to clear the path for her, which is going to make us much faster in the long run. It's usually a gut feeling based thing on how that works. I'm not exactly sure how to define it, but once she's far enough in there, you're able to go through the last area. If you do need skateboards at this moment in time, you will start using the skateboards. Now, there's a few ways to do the manipulation, but the general idea is you're going to have to go to a spot in order to deload zombies from Isabella. And they're powerful, Jaguar. Latinos are great. Once you're in this stairwell, you're going to be waiting about 15 seconds or so, or if you want to be safe, when Isabella stops moving. Once Isabella stops moving, you're going to be able to make your way all the way through, and that's going to be pretty straightforward and easy. Also, I'm going to do some side routing because I'm still testing this. While waiting for Isabella, I'm actually be going in here, and I'm going to be grabbing a couple of supplies by removing one of my skateboards and the mini chainsaw. And that should be fine. Actually, maybe I should have taken both boards. I'll live. I'll probably be fine. Worst case scenario, I'll try it out. I'm still doing some experimentation. I probably should have kept the mini chainsaw. I immediately regret that. It's fine. I'll live. It's probably safer I do this anyway. I probably should have kept that. I will live. That is the answer. Anyway, the manipulation for this time is we're going to go all the way around. Going all the way around the park will despawn the zombies in front of Isabella. This will be very good for us coming up later. Because, well, I need to get to the exit. However, the actual time gate is going to be Isabella getting to the exit. So, if Isabella gets there, well, I'm done. However, she can't get there if zombies are being mean. So by doing this, we can continue to despawn zombies in front of Isabella. How did I do in Dead Rising? What do you mean? I got world record, yeah, for main category. I got it. We're all good. Exactly. It's very useful to learn how to adapt. Although traditionally you'd want to keep the mini chainsaw. I'm still kind of on the fly routing one potential thing I've been testing, but I think we should be fine. Anyway, Isabella's path there is very generous. It's actually at the bottom of that stairwell. And, well, if you just go right up, you'll be fine. Now, the last manipulation is going to be very easy, actually. You're going to go into the gun shop, and you're going to hug the right side the whole time. This was a newer one founded by Pokesol. And this is going to allow me to just kind of have Isabella go all the way to the end. This box will usually have some kind of beverage, so we can do that. Also, I'm going to go with one board, because I think I can make this work. Oh, it looks like Isabella's not doing so hot. Standing right about here should deload the zombies, and Isabella will eventually make her way over here. You can kind of see her little box move. The way I've been doing this is once I see the box under Frank, we are good to go on movement. Alternatively, the strategy, you can go to the motorcycle, but this should suffice. The box is almost under Frank. Alright, and now I'm going to be grabbing 2 guns. This is also the time skip strategy for doing the boss fight, which is why I'm aware... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. I got rid of the stuff. I hit the board. 2 boards would be good. So if anyone's wondering, what am I trying to think about? I'm trying to find out when I would like to make the time skip, the Spitfire drink. There's going to be a special drink we're going to be using on a later section in the run, and that drink is going to be used for the final boss fight, because I'm still pretty weak, even with all bosses. Also, you could kill these much faster using the gun, but don't waste too much ammo or chainsaw. You want to make sure you're going to have resources for the final boss of main category, 72-hour mode. So yes. This mission will end once you're here. Now, it should be mentioned Bomb Collector, or not Bomb Collector, but 8-2 is one of the meaner missions, because Isabella is not always cooperative. I probably could have waited a little bit longer, but that's okay. We can always keep that in mind for next time around this. Hey, remember when I said this might get world record? I laughed too, don't worry about it. It's funny stuff. Now, the last thing to consider while doing this is the fact that you will be heading back through Paradise Plaza, most likely. So what you can do is, instead of taking the usual way, you can just go over here. And this will take you to Wonderland, which will then put you right in Paradise, which is good. In addition, I might take some time to actually make the drink I want. How's it going, Liquid Mongoose? Hope you're doing good. Welcome on in. Yeah, we're back in business, and it's good to be online. I'm happy to be back online. It's definitely nice. I miss streaming. So it's good. It's good to be back. So I probably could find a better time for this, but I still want to see if I can make that Spitfire at some point. I gotta think of when the best time to make that is. Because the old route was making it during overtime, but I know for a fact there's going to be a better spot. Although, Pokesol did have a theory which I might try later, which would probably be smarter. But all we're going to do right now is make our way back to the safe house, and we'll be entering the end of 72-hour mode. Also, how are you doing today, Jaguar? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're all doing good today, chat. I noticed a lot of you are winding down for the night, chilling. Hope you're all being cozy. Total break or something after GDQ? Yeah. I don't really stream during GDQ time, and I just took a few more days after that for my mini vacation. You know, do some chilling in the background, all that jazz. It was all good. So I can't complain there. Alrighty. Now we're gonna be Cool. We're gonna be entering the Larry fight. Before that, though, let me talk about grabs. So, it's very unlucky, but if you get a 2-prompt grab, you are always going to be getting bit. You're not missing it, you'll just be bit. Which is unfortunate, but that is how it goes. How's it going, Kurdo Seok? Hope you're doing good. So that is always unfortunate, but sometimes it just happens. Well, hopefully it goes well, Jaguar. I hope you're able to get that. So, the way over to Larry is going to be through the maintenance tunnels. The maintenance tunnels are going to be what we took earlier in the game to go to Bomb Collector. Luckily for us, it's the same exact route. Now, if you're worried about your health, this box will always have raw meat, which will heal you for about 3 bars. You're allowed to eat it. It's okay. All in? What do you mean the all in? We're not doing the all in today. That's all missions. We're not doing that today. Or a while, actually. Because next will be all bosses, probably next week. At least right now, in terms of me speaking in Twitch. So, no. Can't do it every time. But the Larry fight's going to be one of 2 ways. If you have the mini chainsaw, you use the mini chainsaw and kind of trade blows with him. If it's too bad, that's okay. But the safer route to take is 2 shotguns. This is also the time skip method. What you'll then do is go behind the meats and fire while alternating guns. Do not fire too fast. Roughly around this pace should be fine. The reason why you don't want to fire too fast is if you do, Larry does have invulnerability frames. If he runs up to you, it is RNG. That meat will do a lot of your health, so don't die. Normally you should end with roughly about 10 shots total, anywhere from like 10 to 1. I've had variants happen, so keep that in mind. Last but not least, we are now heading back from the main area. I actually want to keep that red board safe, so I'm going to start walking through here. That red board is going to be my overtime board. Because we're not only doing the main category, we're also doing overtime in this. Because overtime does feature a boss fight. So we're going to have to get to that. Actually, hold on. There we go. That might be worth it. I'm gonna try this out really quick. I'm curious. Oh my god. Maybe it's worth to do it here. Maybe. Anyway, I'm trying something out because of the cooking oil. I forget those are there. Cooking oil to 2 chips or 2 popsicles together can all be used to make Spitfire. Spitfire is going to be a very important tool that you must have. If you don't have it, you can't beat the final boss. It's imperative on New Game Files that you have this. So, I think during the finale, when you're heading back, you can probably get this around there. Because you have the inventory slots getting rid of all your weapons, because you no longer need weapons at this point. Have a good day, Brogan. Take it easy. Get some good rest. Can't go back to sleep? I hear that, these good games. Hopefully you'll be able to get some rest soon. I know I've definitely been feeling a bit tuckered out today. A little bit sleepy. Definitely a little bit. I'm getting back in action. Alright, so at some point we're going to be heading back to the main safe house. This is back in the early game, and you're going to be taking that board that we had. I'll show it to you. Don't worry, Pearl Magpie. You'll be able to see it. Going back to the end of the game, we're going to be taking the way back to Wonderland, because that's a quick shortcut. In addition, I'm pretty sure this will be the best time to do this, because we're going to be able to utilize the blender in Paradise Plaza to make Spitfire. Now, the older route of this was going to the food court. It's theorized what you could do is you can do 2 chips on the way back from Entrance Plaza. However, honestly, this might be better. Also, there's a graphical glitch that can happen in here. Pause, unpause, and you'll remove it. Yeah, it's very nice to be back. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to take a slight detour, because it's going to be faster. I'm going to be going to the blender right up here in Colombian Roastmasters. This blender is going to then make me Spitfire. I don't think I need to heal, but I'm going to do it just in case. But you should see a blue drink if you properly made Spitfire. There we go. Spitfire will come in much handy. So now that we have it, we can then go to the ending. I think this is going to be worth it in the long run. I kind of have this all worked out as a plan of what I'm doing. So this should be good. And that will be the best time to make that drink. Alright, once we're in ending A, we'll be then going into overtime. I actually would really like to do an overtime low speed run. I'm pretty sure I can get a new world record in that after, like, years. So maybe I'll do that. Not today, mind you, but at some point. Alrighty, so that's the main ending A for time skip. If you're doing time skip, that's how you would do it with all bosses. But we still have some bosses coming up. Luckily, you can just go through the menu here. Time won't really tick down, so you can take some time. It's a slight break. And yeah, we're actually doing a big Clock Tower marathon tomorrow night, Strider. I love Clock Tower as a franchise. It's very, very fun. So we'll be doing more tomorrow as a marathon. Alrighty, let's have some fun, shall we? First things first, we need to get a lot of supplies to cure Frank of zombieism. Also, look, Frank sees a sick RC drone. There it is. I wasn't kidding. Now, the way we're going to be taking is we're going to be going through Wonderland. This will be the first step. Wonderland is going to have the side entrance, and 2, it's going to have one of the parts that we need. We're actually going to grab this part early because this is going to allow me to just go to North Plaza later, which, you know, will be slightly more efficient. Ever do casual runs in this game? Not really anymore, but I don't have much of a reason to because I beat the game. All I'm planning right now is I do plan on doing a... What's the name of that thing? I do plan on doing a perfect run of the game, which is all survivors, all bosses, all zombies killed, or something like that, and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm kind of incorporating the route now. We're going to grab that early, because then I don't have to worry about that later. But we're going to be grabbing a lot of different tools. Realistically, the best way of learning this is going to be, I guess, kind of just practicing it, I suppose. The last story I was genuinely happy with. I'm really not that displeased of a person. I'm not that too picky, I suppose. I'm usually pretty happy always around. Also, if you're low on health, fun fact, OJ is your friend. Also, I'm going to be getting rid of this book, and we are going to keep moving. I'm grabbing 3 OJs. I guess Tormented Souls. I played that most recently, and that game came out most recently, I think. So that game. It's pretty hard to not make me happy. Nope, the game will keep spawning zombies as long as it goes. So, I grab all those OJs, because those OJs are going to keep me safe. These guys will absolutely melt Frank if you let them. Do not let them melt Frank. So that's why I grabbed the OJs. Worst case scenario, I will be able to just sort of tank my way through these guys. Which is going to be much more ideal as opposed to dying. Now, a fun fact as well. This is actually a skip I found. If you drink or eat any food in front of the military, they will never attack you. We're not sure why this is. I like to say it's like the last right sort of thing, but just keep that in mind. If you're in a rough spot and are surrounded by food, keep eating. And you will always live. But yeah, for Dead Rising, though, I don't really have any plans of playing the game again casually. I've played this game so much when I was younger, and I play it a lot today as well. So there's not too much to worry about that. Alrighty. A lot of the path and overtime will be the same stuff, and if you're wondering about where you should be going, while I do have the specific order, I think there's like a guide arrow that will show you on the map of like each shop you have to go to. So you can actually make that as your set mission if you're getting lost. But normally the way we go is you start in Wonderland, you get the gems there now, then you'll go to Paradise Plaza, you'll make your way over to the safe house, you'll then go to Entrance Plaza outside of Paradise Plaza, you'll go back to Paradise Plaza and then go to Wonderland, and then you'll be going to North Plaza. Or I should say we're going to be going into the... What's the name of that thing? No, not that. Instead of Wonderland, we're going to be going into the park. What the park is going to have is the last thing that's going to prevent me from having to grab a generator. So it's slightly faster to do it this way. And you'll see that as we go. One. Alright, see, we go to the park, and then... I want to say this is route experimentation, however, so do keep in mind the route could be ever-changing. The general idea, though, is after going to the clock tower right here, you'll be going to the food court. How you get to the food court, there might be multitudes of answers, but I want to experiment with something. Also, not there, because I don't know why... Oh, yeah, I don't know why it splits there, but it does. Also, right now, this is the best area to grab a queen if for some reason you do not have a queen. You need at least one. Also, I'm going the wrong way. I want to be going to North Plaza. There it is. That is fine. Although I have been debating on going back to Wonderland and just sneaking through there. In theory, that could be faster. But we want to end up in North Plaza. Alright, so now that we're back to North Plaza, what's going to happen is we're going to be going to the food court. Alright, no. Grocery store. Sorry, my brain's a bit mushy right now. I'm kind of confusing different locations. It shouldn't be a huge deal, however. Also, another important thing to notice about any gunfire in the game. If you jump while getting attacked, you'll get a minor stun forward. It is slightly faster than, you know, just eating a stun. So, food for thought on that. Time for a very odd glitch with overtime. Now, there's a lot of military dudes, and they're... Sweet. They're gonna be quite mean to me. But, a cool glitch you can do, one, I'm taking a bunch of meat, because I might die. See what I mentioned? If you open the right door, they can't attack you and follow you. For some reason, they won't follow you. As long as they're a resin category, I don't know. Probably all missions. Or non-time skip mods, but it's only waiting 6 hours. I really don't care that much. Like, longest isn't really a thing. Like, I guess all missions, but I wouldn't say all, longest is the best measure of a category. Just because time skip. Time skip is not very fun, trust me. Wait, no, sorry, not time skip. Non-time, regular, 72-hour mode. It's waiting 6 hours. It's not exciting.
I need the gold scissors.
Thank you, 8-Bit Dojo, very much for the 2 for 12 months. Do enjoy the emotes and the gold scissors, and thank you. I know you need them. And hope you're doing good. Anyway, you might not have the board, that's okay. You can run out at this point because we don't actually need it as much anymore. You're going to be taking the motorcycle for the rest of the way. What you do actually need, however, is a bunch of items. So what we're going to be doing is dropping everything that's not the blue drink and the queen. In addition to that, I'll be taking a bunch of random items, because these random items are going to allow me to do something called queen duping. How's that doing, Conic? So, I'm going to be taking a random amalgamation of items. And I'm going to be putting them right in front of all of these. Queen duping is going to be a super fun trick that's more new to things. And this is going to allow me to save a lot of time on queens. This is also why I feel like I can probably get a really good time in the run if I did, you know, put my nose to the grindstone. I guess that's fair. And yeah, it was a fun run. Alright, so, first things first, you're going to toggle down to 30 FPS. At this point, what you're going to do is you're going to swap and then give. So you're going to talk, and then when it says give, you're going to swap. So it's going to be like that. It's R1B, and then that will allow you to give guns to Isabella, and any random items. It mainly works on weapons. Oh, hold on. And you need at least one queen to do it. The idea behind this glitch is you're fooling Isabella by giving her a queen and then immediately swapping to another item. I gave her a queen on accident, that's bad. Alright, so 5 queens. I can make do with this. I need to find one queen though, but I accidentally messed it up. It's okay. Hopefully for me, I'll be able to find a queen faster. You sad? It's alright. No worries there. Also, my FPS is going to look a bit rough at the moment. That's okay. That's kind of broken. Well, it works at 30 FPS. Also, it's a very particular glitch you need to find. You're not going to be accidentally doing this. You raid? I was making gosh, hope you had a good stream. I'm not sure why raids have been popping up today. But, hope we had a good one anyway. It was a fun time. Anyway, if you need one queen, your best bet's usually this side. If you don't find one, that's a-okay. Also, out of the way you. You should be able to at least find one over here. Luckily, or normally you'd want a skateboard. But, as you can tell, maybe you'll see, mine broke. Shit. There's one. Up. Also, if you do need help, it will be right here. So make sure you have the queens. A backup queen is nice to have, but it's not mandatory. Nice. Sounds like you had fun. Hope you had a good time. And I want to say welcome, Raiders. How you doing, Nishi? Alrighty, so I should have enough resources, and that should be okay. Let's go. Hey, glad you enjoyed it, Mr. Machine. Welcome on in. So I kept things on 30 FPS. That's going to be okay. Let's heal up. And it's now time for queen duping once again. It's going to be swap, give. So it's usually pretty easy, but every now and again it can mess up. And after 10 swaps, you should be done. And there. We're now done with queen duping. That was very fast, as you can see. Queen duping is super important. Now, the only actual item that you need is going to be this blue drink. Now, Isabella's going to be a bit awkward, so what you should do is walk behind her and hold her hand and walk very gently. She's a sweetheart, after all. Walk slowly and hold her hand. If you run too fast, as you may see, she'll fall. She won't go down with you. So, you gotta be a sweetheart with Isabella. Be very sweet. Is all achievements a category? Not really. I plan on doing a perfect run, but no. There's too many achievements in Dead Rising that require sequential playthroughs, so not really. All missions is the best bet, or the perfect run, as it's defined. Now, while you're waiting for this, you're waiting for Isabella, so you can sort of chill on the zombies. This is mostly going to be an Isabella Escort. You're going to be holding a pretty lady's hand. I know, quite lewd, but just do keep in mind the way her hand holding works. Also, at this point, you should probably swap back to variable, or 60 if you're on that, because it's going to make some parts a bit more awkward to play. Also, Nishi, thank you for the gift sub debut going to Heckin' Gosh. Enjoy the emotes and the scissors, and Heckin' Gosh, congrats again on Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah. Usually it's pretty chill walking Isabella through this. Definitely make sure that you toggle your FPS back. I forget that's bad. And most of the tunnels are pretty easy, and luckily if you made it this far, you're always going to be dealing with this. If you're on New Game Plus, New Game, Overtime, any category that takes you in Overtime, you're dealing with Isabella here. This will always be ringing the same bells. Just make it all the way to the ending. It's a pretty simple walk. Going the path I'm going usually works quite well. Just make sure you keep your hand holding with Isabella. Sometimes she likes to let go of your hand. Anyway, once this gate is up, you're going to be able to just bypass Isabella entirely, which is going to be much faster than having to take her down. If you do have the skateboard at this point, you're going to be able to use the skateboard, but I ran out of my board, so I'm going to have to jog down the hill. Also, don't worry about your health if you're on New Game. If you're on New Game Plus, hopefully you're not dying. If you're on New Game, don't worry about your health. I mean, obviously make sure you don't die, but if you are running low on health, at this point, you can drink the blue drink. It's going to last for quite a while, and we're going to be drinking in a moment. Anyway, last but not least, you're going to be taking Isabella here. For some reason, the mod doesn't let you call survivors or direct them. It's just something with all bosses doesn't let you do it, and we're not sure what it is. So, your best bet will be carrying Isabella, because she'll try to go the right way, but she tries her best. It's not the mod. I have no idea why it does it. It's just super consistent with this category and only this one. So with Greg? Oh, Greg. And yeah, it was fun. Alright, at this point you'll be drinking the blue drink, and you'll be carrying Isabella all the way to the truck in the back. She likes to have a good time. She tries her best out here. Once you get to that truck, you're on the final boss rush. Now, the blue drink is going to be your friend for Phase 2. For Phase 1, you're going to be going to your mouse. If you don't normally use keyboard and mouse, hop on your mouse now. The reason why is because this is a rail shooter, and shooting with any kind of first-person mode will always be easier on a keyboard and mouse. You're not even using keyboard, you're just on mouse. Aim for either the right or the left green lights. These lights are going to be the sensors, and that's how you do damage. You may notice if I shoot it, no damage. If you shoot the sensors, damage. You need those giant flaming meatballs, and that will do the damage for you. It's a pretty easy fight once you get the hang of it. If you want to avoid damage, you can shoot the gun up there, but it's not a huge thing. Usually you'll just do more damage, and you get a full heal at the end of the fight anyway. Oddly enough, this fight's actually gated on FPS a bit, so it's easier on higher FPS than lower FPS. I have no idea why. It's the strangest thing I found out recently, but it's neat. And a fun fact at that. Correct. That's funny if you kill Greg. Okay. How neat. What changes New Game Plus make? You pretty much hit like a truck. It's boring. New Game Plus is never interesting. I don't like New Game Plus. I don't recommend it. New Game all the way. You actually have boss fight strategies. New Game Plus, you use Mega Man Buster for everything, and you one-shot everything. It's not entertaining whatsoever. So don't worry about it. Alrighty, almost done with the fight, and now we're going to the final boss fight. We made this string called Spitfire, so what you're going to do is either go right or left, and you're going to be aiming at his shins. What you want to see is pools of blood. I think rhythmic attacking is going to be better. You feel attacked? Run New Game. New Game's the Chad category. What does time skip mean? It's a mod that skips time. I'll make a video on it eventually. I was going to do it and make a script recently, but I kind of forgot. Anyway, you're going to spit on him until he dies. It's kind of a rhythmic thing. You can get good angles, but You gotta feel it is the weird part. Normally you want to try catching him out of the block, and doing this kind of rhythmic spitting is fine. If you do it, eventually he'll die, and then you have beaten Dead Rising. New game, all bosses. This is a 101, which I think would have been old world record a while ago. So, anyway, I hope I explained most of that. I hope you all enjoyed it. That was the run, and that went well. No adjustment to zombie cycle health or damage? No. You just are level 50, that's it. And thank you, gosh. GG. I hope you all enjoy that. I know a few people wanting to learn this category. It's fun. I actually like this category a lot. I'm surprised I didn't make one of these sooner. So, I will say, if you're watching this over on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, I guess. Because that does support the videos. Anyway, yeah, that was good. I felt good about that one. Let's check Twitter and see if I have any more stuff about Tifa. I might. I made a tweet, and how many likes did it get? It has 236. That was a good tweet. That was a very good tweet, in fact. Exactly, like the YouTube videos and all that. Alrighty, that was pretty good. 101 could have been better, but, you know, I'll take it. Look how cocky I was. Also, doing that on minor sleep is actually pretty tight.